There's a warning they should have put on my life, a content advisory stamped on the walls I was thrown through. Fragile hearts can break, and mine was shattered before I knew how to speak. I was raised in the cracks of a house that never stood straight, where love was lost in liquor bottles and bruises were the only signs of affection. A child shouldn't know the weight of silence so heavy it presses on your chest. But I learned young how to hold my breath, how to disappear inside myself. My father's hands were made of fire, and I felt every burn he swing. A lesson in how love can sting, how fear can become your best friend. The floor was littered with empty promises and broken dishes, a battlefield where I was always the casualty, a war I couldn't fight or flee. He drank to drown whatever demons haunted him, but I was the one left drowning, sinking in the wreckage of a family that never had a chance to be whole. This is my content advisory, proceed with caution. The love you seek is buried in the dark. I was raised on silence and shattered glass, a child lost to a world too harsh. If you wanna know me, know the scars, know the pain that built these walls so high. This is my content advisory, a warning for the heart that dares to try. There was no light in that house, no safety in the corners I hid. The ceiling leaked, the roof was just a joke, and I'd watch maggots crawl across the dishes while pretending not to notice. My sister's too young to understand, smiled in the chaos, but I carried the weight of every unpaid bill, every knock on the door that brought fear. We lived in shadows, hid from the world like it was the enemy, but the real danger was within, behind doors we could never lock. My mother disappeared long before she left the room, lost in the haze of soap operas and pills. Her body there but her soul adrift on the tides of whatever numbed the pain. I'd steal bread, toilet paper, whatever I could find to keep us alive. A child playing the role of survivor when I should have been free to be weak. But weakness wasn't allowed in the world I knew, so I grew strong in all the wrong ways, learning to stand when I was already broken. This is my content advisory, proceed with caution. The love you seek is buried in the dark. I was raised on silence and shattered glass, a child lost to a world too harsh. If you wanna know me, know the scars, know the pain that built these walls so high. This is my content advisory, a warning for the heart that dares to try. There were no birthday candles, no laughter that didn't end in tears. I was the black sheep, the one no one wanted to claim, a family cursed by its own bloodline, left to rot in the corners of memory. We weren't invited to gatherings, weren't called for holidays. It was like we didn't exist, but I wished I did. And the world outside moved on without us, and I watched from the windows, too afraid to leave, too broken to stay. Now as I stand in the ruins of what used to be, I wonder how I survived, how I carried so much grief and still found a way to breathe. The scars run deep, hidden beneath layers of silence and fear, but they're there, etched in the fabric of who I am. A permanent reminder of the child who never had a chance to be. I wear the bruises like a second skin, a content advisory for anyone who thinks they can love me whole. This is my content advisory, proceed with caution. The love you seek is buried in the dark. I was raised on silence and shattered glass, a child lost to a world too harsh. If you wanna know me, know the scars, know the pain that built these walls so high. This is my content advisory, a warning for the heart that dares to try. So here I am, a product of the fires I was born into. Still standing, still breathing, still fighting through the smoke. I've learned to rebuild from the ashes, to find beauty in the darkness where most people see only fear. But don't expect a happy ending, there's no fairy tale waiting. The shadows of my past, just a heart that's been through hell and back, and the warning label it carries for anyone who dares to get close. This is my content advisory, proceed with caution. The love you see